Ever feel like we're living in a sci-fi movie? I mean, AI is everywhere these days.
It is pretty wild, right? And it's only getting started.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. Not just the cool stuff AI can do, but how we make sure it's actually used for good.
Right, because with great power comes, well, you know, the rest.
Like that whole chatbot thing a few months back. Suddenly, AI going rogue doesn't seem so fictional, huh?
Yeah, a little too close to home. But the good news is there are people working on that, like figuring out the safeguards and all that.
And that's where this report, Navigating the Gen AI Landscape, comes in. It's basically a blueprint for what they call AI governance.
Governance, huh? It sounds kind of dry, but I guess someone's got to lay down the law, even for AI.
Exactly. And the report actually breaks it down in a way that's surprisingly easy to grasp. They call them the 3 pillars of Gen AI governance: risk management, compliance management, and lifecycle governance.
Okay, I'm listening. Break it down for me.
So first up, risk management. Think of it like this. It's not enough to just invent cool AI tools. We need to think about the potential downsides before they blow up in our faces.
Kind of like anticipating problems before they happen.
Precisely. Like, imagine an AI system used for hiring decisions. If it's trained on biased data, it might end up discriminating against certain candidates without even realizing it. That's a risk we need to manage right from the get-go.
Yeah, makes sense. So what's the next pillar?
Compliance management. In a nutshell, it's about making sure AI actually plays by the rules. We're talking laws, regulations, ethical guidelines, all that good stuff.
Oh, so even AI isn't above the law.
Nope. And here's the kicker. Those rules are constantly evolving, especially as governments try to wrap their heads around AI's rapid development. It's a moving target, but we've got to keep aiming.
Right on. And what about that last one? Life cycle governance. What's that all about?
Think of it like this. AI isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. It needs ongoing care and attention throughout its entire life cycle, from its initial development to its implementation and beyond.
So it's kind of like raising a child, but instead of a kid, it's a super smart piece of software.
In a way. But seriously, it's about constantly monitoring AI, tweaking its algorithms, and making sure it stays on track, even as it encounters new data and situations.
Right, because the real world is a messy place.
You got that right. Actually, the report uses a really interesting example to illustrate this: social media sentiment analysis.
Oh yeah, like figuring out if people are tweeting positive or negative stuff.
Exactly. Seems pretty straightforward, but with Gen AI, it gets surprisingly complex.
How so?
Well, it's not just about feeding tweets into an AI and getting a thumbs up or thumbs down. There's a lot of human judgment involved in crafting the right prompts, interpreting the results, and refining the AI's understanding of sentiment over time.
Interesting. So it's more of a back and forth between humans and AI, not just letting the AI run wild.
Precisely. And that's where lifecycle governance becomes crucial. We need to make sure those human experts are in the loop, constantly monitoring the AI and course-correcting as needed.
Makes sense. But with all this complexity, how do we keep track of everything? I mean, it sounds like a logistical nightmare.
Well, that's where the report gets really interesting. They propose the idea of a governance platform.
A governance platform. What's that?
Imagine a central hub for all things AI within an organization. This platform would help manage the complexity of Gen AI as it gets integrated into every aspect of our lives.
I'm starting to see how that would be helpful. But what kind of stuff would this platform actually do?
Oh, tons of stuff. It could ensure different AI systems can talk to each other, share data, and learn from each other's experiences. It would help organizations integrate AI seamlessly with their existing technology so they're not starting from scratch. And crucially, it would keep them on top of those ever-changing AI regulations we talked about.
Wow, that is ambitious. But I can see how it would be a game changer in making sure AI is used responsibly.
Absolutely. And that brings us to a really important question. The report raises one that I think we all need to ponder as AI becomes more and more integrated into our world. Who should ultimately be responsible for setting these rules and standards for AI governance?
Yeah, who gets to call the shots? That's a big one.
Right. Is it governments, tech companies, independent organizations? Maybe a combination of all 3. There's no easy answer, but it's a discussion we need to have sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Because AI isn't just some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's here, it's evolving fast, and it's up to us to figure out how to make sure it's a force for good in the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.